Memories of a retired policeman. I am an old man now. My hair is white and my hands are weak. I have seen many things in my life, some good, but most bad. Life is not fair, you know. I think about this every day. When I was young, I was a policeman and I loved my job. Every day I caught bad people and made the city safe. I was proud of my work because I believed in justice. My life was simple and my days were always the same. I woke up early, worked hard, and went home late. I never thought about change, and I never expected surprises. But one night, everything changed. That night I met a thief, and my life was never the same again. It was a cold night and the streets were empty. The city was quiet, and the only sound was the wind. My partner and I sat in our police car watching a big house. We had information that a thief was inside. This was not an ordinary thief. She was smart, fast, and very dangerous. We had to catch her before she escaped. We waited in silence, watching the dark windows. Then suddenly the door opened and she ran out. She moved like a shadow, quick and light. She wore black clothes and her dark hair flowed behind her. She looked back and saw us. But she did not stop. Instead, she smiled, then disappeared into the night. I jumped out of the car and ran after her. My partner called for backup, but I did not wait. My heart was pounding and my breath was heavy. I had caught many thieves before, but this was different. She was different. She ran through narrow streets, turning left and right. She jumped over fences and climbed walls with ease. She knew the city well, and she was not afraid. I followed her, pushing myself to go faster. Every time I got close, she moved away again. It was like a game, and she was winning. I had never chased someone like this before. She was not just running, she was challenging me. Finally, she stopped in a small alley. The walls were high and there was no way out. She turned to face me, breathing hard. I held up my gun, but she did not look afraid. Her big brown eyes stared into mine and she smiled again. It was not the smile of a thief, it was something else. I had seen fear, anger, and sadness before, but never this. This was calm, almost playful. I took a step closer and she raised her hands. "You caught me," she said. Her voice was soft but strong. I did not expect her to speak first. Most thieves ran, fought, or begged, but she stood there waiting. I put my gun away and took out my handcuffs. I had to arrest her. That was my job. But for the first time in my life, I hesitated. Something about her made me stop. I did not know what it was, but I felt it. She was not just a thief. She was something more. My hands shook for a second, and she noticed. She tilted her head, watching me closely. "Are you sure you want to do this?" she asked. Her words surprised me. I had arrested many criminals before, but no one had ever asked me that. I did not answer right away. The cold wind blew through the alley and everything was quiet. I looked at her, and she looked at me. In that moment, something changed inside me. I was a policeman and she was a thief, but for the first time I was not sure what was right or wrong, and that scared me more than anything else. I stood there, holding the handcuffs, but I did not move. The woman looked at me, waiting. The alley was dark and the city was silent. My heart was still beating fast from the chase. I had caught many thieves before, but this time felt different. There was something about her that made me stop. I tried to ignore it. I had a job to do. I had to arrest her, but my hands did not move. I did not understand why. She took a small step closer and I tensed. I expected her to run or fight, but she did neither. Instead, she smiled again. That same strange smile. "You don't want to do this," she said softly. Her voice was calm, almost gentle. I felt my chest tighten. Of course, I wanted to do this. This was my job. I was a policeman. I always did the right thing. But at that moment, I was not so sure. She tilted her head and watched me. Her dark eyes studied my face, looking for something. "Oh, you are different," she said. I frowned. I did not understand what she meant. "Most policemen don't think," she continued. "They may only follow orders, but you are thinking." Her words made me uneasy. She was playing with my mind. I had to stop listening. I had to arrest her and take her to the station. But still, I stood there, frozen. The wind blew through the alley, cold against my skin. The city lights flickered in the distance. Time felt slow. My radio made a small noise, and my partner's voice came through. "Did you catch her?" he asked. I took a deep breath. This was my chance to end it. I could answer, call for backup, and take her in, but I did not press the button. I hesitated. The thief noticed. Her eyes shined with curiosity. "You don't want to arrest me?" she said again. "Something is stopping you." I shook my head. "That's not true," I said quickly. My voice was firm, but inside I was not so sure. She laughed softly, shaking her head. "Oh, you can lie to yourself, officer," she said, "but I can see the truth." Her confidence annoyed me, but it also fascinated me. She was not afraid. She was not angry. She was calm, almost like she had already won. I finally took a step forward, breaking the moment. "Turn around," I ordered. My voice was strong again. I had to do this. I could not let a thief change me. But as she turned, she spoke again. "Do you know why I steal?" she asked. I did not answer. I did not care. Criminals always had excuses. But she continued anyway. I steal from the rich," she said. "From those who take too much. I help people who have nothing." I felt something in my chest. A small doubt. Was she telling the truth? I did not know. I did not want to know. I had to focus. I reached for her hands to put on the cuffs, but she moved fast. In one quick motion, she slipped away, stepping back. She was not running. She was testing me. She wanted to see what I would do next. And to my own surprise, I did nothing. I just stood there, watching her disappear into the night. The alley was empty again. Only the cold wind remained. I clenched my fists, angry at myself. I had let her go. I did not know why, but I had. My partner's voice came through the radio again. "Did you catch her?" he asked. I took a deep breath, still staring at the dark street ahead. Then, after a long pause, I pressed the button and answered. Oh no, she got away. I sat in my car, staring at the empty street. The night was quiet again, but my mind was not. I had let her go. A thief, a criminal. That was not who I was. I always did my job. I always caught the bad guys. But tonight, something was different. She was different, and that scared me. My partner sat beside me talking on the radio. He was angry that she escaped. I barely listened. My thoughts were somewhere else. The next day I could not focus. I walked through the police station, but my mind was still in that alley. My hands still felt the cold air. My ears still heard her voice. "You don't want to do this," she had said. And maybe she was right. But why? Why had I stopped? Why had I let her go? I told myself it was a mistake, but deep inside, I knew it was not. It was a choice. And I did not understand. I sat at my desk looking at the reports. My partner walked in and dropped a file in front of me. "Her name is Sarah," he said. I looked at the file. A photo of her stared back at me. Same dark hair, same brown eyes. She was wanted in 3 cities. Theft, breaking into rich houses, stealing from banks. But she had never hurt anyone. No violence, no weapons, only stealing. I closed the file, but her face stayed in my mind. Days passed, but I could not forget her. Every night I walked through the city, hoping to see her again. It was wrong, I knew that. She was a criminal, I was a policeman. We were not the same, but something inside me needed to understand her, needed to know why she smiled when I caught her, needed to hear her voice again. I told myself it was for my job, to catch her, but deep down, I knew that was a lie. Then, one evening, I saw her. She was walking through a busy street, her hands in her pockets, her steps light and quick. She looked like she belonged there, like a normal person, not a thief, not a criminal, just a woman. For a moment I hesitated. Should I arrest her? Should I call for backup? My hand went to my radio, but I did not press the button. Instead, I started walking, following her. She turned into a small cafe. I waited outside, watching through the window. She sat at a table, drinking coffee, looking out at the street. She did not seem worried. She was not hiding. She was just living. I took a deep breath and made a decision. I walked inside. The bell above the door rang softly. She looked up and our eyes met. For a second, neither of us moved. Then she smiled, the same calm, knowing smile. "Officer," she said, tilting her head, "I didn't think we would meet again so soon." Her voice was soft, almost playful. I sat down across from her, not taking my eyes off her. "Why did you let me go?" I asked. I needed to hear her answer. I needed to understand. She leaned back, taking a sip of her coffee. "I didn't run," she said. "And you had a choice. And you chose to let me go." Her words made my chest tighten, because deep inside, I knew she was right. I did not know what I was doing. This was dangerous. I should have arrested her right there. I should have ended it. But instead, I stayed. I sat across from her, listening, watching. And in that moment, I realized something that scared me more than anything else. I did not want to catch her. I wanted to know her. I sat across from her, my hands on the table, my mind full of questions. The cafe was quiet, filled with the soft sound of people talking and cups clinking. S. Sarah held her coffee cup, calm as always. She was not afraid. She was not nervous. She looked at me like she already knew what I was thinking, and maybe she did. I had spent days searching for answers, but now that I was here, I did not know what to say. "You want to understand me?" she said, breaking the silence. Her voice was soft but full of confidence. "That's why you're here." I frowned. "I'm here because you're a criminal," I said. "I should arrest you." But even as I spoke, the words felt weak. She tilted her head, studying my face. "Then why haven't you?" she asked. I had no answer. My fingers tapped against the table. I wanted to believe I was in control, but deep down, I knew I wasn't. She leaned forward slightly, lowering her voice. "And I steal because the world is unfair," she said. "It's rich men take everything, and poor people have nothing. So I take from the rich and give to those who need it." Her words surprised me. I had seen thieves before, greedy, selfish, only thinking of themselves. But she spoke with passion, with belief. Did she really think she was doing something right? Or was it just another trick? I shook my head. "Stealing is still a crime," I said firmly, "no matter the reason." Sarah smiled as if she expected my answer. "And yet," she said, "oh, you let me go that night." Her words sent a strange feeling through me. She was right. I had let her go. And now, instead of arresting her, I was sitting here, listening to her. A small part of me knew I was already losing this battle. The waiter came and placed a cup of coffee in front of me. I had not ordered it, but Sarah had. "Drink," she said. "You look tired." I hesitated, then picked up the cup. The warmth felt good in my hands. I took a sip, my eyes never leaving hers. "What do you want from me?" I asked. Sarah chuckled. "Oh, I should be asking you that," she said. "You're the one who followed me here." She was playing with me again, twisting the truth. And the worst part was she was right. For a long moment, we sat in silence. Outside, the city moved on. People walking, cars passing, life continuing. But inside this small cafe, it felt like time had stopped. I was a policeman. She was a thief. We were supposed to be enemies. And yet here we were, sitting together, sharing coffee. I knew I had to make a choice. Walk away now or finish what I started. Finally, Sarah stood up. She placed some money on the table and looked down at me. "You have a decision to make, officer," she said. "Catch me, or let me go again." Her voice was soft, almost kind. Then, without waiting for an answer, she turned and walked toward the door. My heart pounded as I watched her go. Every part of me screamed to get up, to arrest her, to do my job. But I did not move. I just sat there, watching her disappear into the street. I stared at the empty chair in front of me, my hands still warm from the coffee cup. I had let her go again. And this time, I did not even try to stop her. I did not see Sarah for weeks, but I thought about her every day. I told myself it was over, that she was just another criminal, but I knew that was a lie. Something about her stayed with me. The way she looked at me, the way she spoke, the way she smiled even when she was caught. I patrolled the city, pretending to be the same policeman I had always been. But inside, I felt different. And then one night, she found me again. I was walking alone after my shift when I saw her. She stood in the shadows of an old building, waiting. My heart pounded as I stepped closer. "You should not be here," I said, my voice firm but quiet. Sarah only smiled. "And yet here I am," she said. She took a step forward, her eyes locked on mine. "Tell me, officer, if you had to choose between what is right and what feels right, what would you do?" I had no answer. She watched me, waiting, but I stayed silent. The air between us felt heavy, full of words we did not say. I should have arrested her. I should have called for backup, but I did nothing. "Come with me," she said softly. My chest tightened. "You want me to leave everything?" I asked. Sarah nodded. "Oh, you don't belong in that world anymore," she said. "You already know that." Her words scared me because deep down, I knew they were true. I looked back at the street, at the life I had always known. Then I looked at her, standing there, waiting, a thief, a criminal, but also something more. Someone who had changed me. My hands trembled as I made my choice. I stepped forward. Sarah smiled, and just like that, the policeman I had always been was gone. I was no longer chasing her. I was walking beside her. I hope this session was helpful. Please like and subscribe to our channel for more such interesting stories. Take care, everyone.